Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. My name is Katie Carson. I'm the Duchess of Suds, and today we are making a Twilight inspired soap. It is called Pinewood Trail. I used 2 different fragrances from Brambleberry to do this, and we talk a little bit more about our Twilight journey over here at Carson House. My best friend Caroline and I watched the movies for the first time last year, and we're sold. We're obsessed. What can we say? Some of it is ironic. Some of it is not. Nothing about our love for Carlisle is ironic. I'll say that. It's kind of simple, but I think you guys will like it. So without further ado, let us go ahead and make some soap. Whoa, what is up with our oils today? Also, can you see me in the reflection? Hello. I went ahead and added all of our green colorant into our oils because as we begin our soap, it will be a dark green. And as we move up in the colors, it will get gradually lighter. So it saves time and dishes to just put all the green in the base. We will now pour in our lye water solution and go ahead and blend this up on high. All right, and this is the color of the first layer, but I still have to split it into 5 equal parts. 5 little buckets, freshly washed for our 5 little soap layers. Now watch the texture of the soap as I'm pouring it. You can kind of see it looks a little bit like applesauce. I have not blended this soap up to where it needs to be. It's just past emulsion. It's falling out of emulsion a little bit. There's some color in there, which is complicating things. Do you see that? Look at that. Look at that. So I wouldn't want to pour my soap into the mold at this texture. It needs more blending, but I know I have titanium dioxide to add to some of these layers. I have fragrance to add to some of these layers. So it being this applesauce consistency while I'm splitting it off, no problem. If it was this consistency pouring into the mold, I'd be worried. Let me show you inside this bucket here. Okay, you see that? You don't want to pour into the mold at that consistency. That is separation, which means you've probably reached false trace. You thought it was all gonna stay together. Everything looked promising, but it hadn't been blended quite enough. Again, I have to do a lot more blending as we go on, so that's not a problem for me here, but don't pour your soap into the mold looking like that. Gonna move 4 of these out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and get our fragrance into this one. We don't have any extra additives to add. So what's the fragrance oil today? It's actually a blend of 2 different fragrances from Brambleberry. One of them is the Pacific Trail. One of them is Evergreen Forest. It's 75% Evergreen Forest, 25% Pacific Trail. Both this soap and this fragrance blend are heavily inspired by the Twilight movies. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like if I was gonna do an autumn favorites collection, that Twilight, whether you are watching it unironically or ironically, it's just like a classic feel. That Pacific Northwest, autumnal, woodsy smell. It's just, I mean, this color, it's giving Forks, Washington, you know? So we'll go ahead and blend this layer up, get it into our mold, texture it, and then move along. Look at this texture after blending. Completely different, right? Just a few more seconds with that stick blender to really make sure that that fragrance is incorporated and there is not an applesauce texture to be seen, which is exactly how we want it. So let me get my slab mold. And now a quick ad from our brand new sponsor, Framebridge. So I'm about to show you this photo that I got framed of Lily and Will. Here is the frame. I mean, come on. So this is what the back of the frame looks like. It looks like a museum print. Like everything is so nice. It already came, like they said, ready to hang. So here's how FrameBridge works. Just go to framebridge.com and upload your photo, or they will send you packaging to safely mail in your physical pieces. Preview your item online in dozens of frame styles and gallery wall layouts. You can choose your layout, or you can get free recommendations from their very talented designers. The experts at FrameBridge will custom frame your item and deliver your finished piece directly to your door, ready to hang. Instead of the hundreds you pay at a framing store, their prices start at $39 and all of their shipping is free. Plus, members of the Royal Court will get 15% off their first purchase at framebridge.com when you use my code ROYALTYSOAPS, which is in all caps, by the way. Order online at framebridge.com, or you can visit one of their stores in person if you live in New York, DC, Atlanta, Philly, Boston, or Chicago. Get started today. Just go to framebridge.com, promo code ROYALTYSOAPS. Framebridge.com, promo code ROYALTYSOAPS. Thank you so much to FrameBridge for sponsoring today's video, and you guys enjoy the rest of the soap making. Bringing you in real close for today's pour, and we'll go ahead and get this first layer in. Now, this fragrance blend is behaving beautifully. You could easily do some intricate swirls. You could do a tiger stripe. You could probably pull off a Taiwan swirl. Wow, yeah, still really runny. Lots of working time on this one. Now, there's gonna be 5 layers for this soap. 5 layers, which is a lot. So I'm gonna blend the layers up off camera and then just show you guys me pouring them. Gonna give this a soft texture now. It's setting up fast enough to hold texture, but not so fast that I'm worried about trying to mix up those next layers as fast as humanly possible, which is always nice. All right, here comes layer number 2, just a little lighter than layer number 1. I hope as I go along that these will be gradual changes. I feel like as I get closer to the top, it might be a little more stark, but we'll see. This is my first batch. I can always adjust it if I find that it doesn't exactly look the way I want it to. And of course, scraping out that bucket, get absolutely every bit of it out because we won't be returning to these buckets. All right, again, just gonna texture this. It's setting up faster than the one before it because there is titanium dioxide in this one, which of course means that every single layer is gonna set up faster than the next. So I better be prepared to really hurry it on up with some of these things. And of course, motions going front to back instead of side to side are gonna be more visible in the cut bars. Okay, this layer is admittedly the one I'm most concerned about. I feel like those 2 colors may end up being a little bit too similar, and we might end up with a layer that just looks like it's one big layer of one color. So I may have to adjust that in the future, but for now, we'll leave it as it is because it's our first batch. Okay, this one is absolutely lighter. I don't know if the camera is gonna do a great job of showing you that, but I promise you it is. And I do believe that my final layer is going to be the color that I wanted it to be. So overall, you know, greens are kind of tricky for me. So if I end up getting anywhere close to what I want on the first draft, I'm always like, woohoo. All right, layer number 4. Some of these in there. Ugh, smells so good. It just gets even better as it's sitting. I wonder if Carlisle would like it. All right, last layer. Ooh, might need to add a little more titanium dioxide to that one, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how subtle it is tomorrow. Okay, time for a little, well, actually, it appears it is not time for, because that is not hardly holding any of my texturing. All right, little bit of texturing to the middle of these bars. We will leave a very obvious middle because I do have some embeds that are going, well, not embeds, but little botanicals I want to put on top. I might have to make kind of a line here because I'm historically so bad at putting these in straight. Shout out to all the people who can do that with ease because I am not in your club. Now for some juniper berries on top. These are some big beautiful juniper berries. I just felt like this is a type of thing you would see on a walking trail. We have little fake cedars in Texas. I don't remember what they're called, but they're not real cedar trees. And in the fall, they drop little powdery blue berries. And as a kid, we used to collect those and put them on top of our mud pies for a more authentic blueberry look. So collecting berries, we also have something called, oh golly, I can hardly remember. They're purple berries. And they're bright purple. And they're here in Texas. I don't think you can eat them. And they're in big clumps and they're beautiful. Ugh, it's killing me that I can't remember the name of those, but we used to collect those too. So collecting little berries and little fallen sticks and junk on trails, a childhood favorite pastime for me. I felt like it matched the soap super well, but obviously I also have like personal happy feelings towards them. That was just part of my little foraging ways. We had a soap last year, I believe, called Forage, and it has tons of little trinkets on it. Very kind of fairy core, very cottagey, very woodland nymph. We had little dewdrops and little flowers on it. This is kind of in the same vibe. You very easily could have added juniper berries on top of that soap and it would have made sense. I'm also going to add some poppy seeds down the middle. I did not get these poppy seeds from Walmart. Don't be fooled. I actually got them from a different supplier, but I really, really like this shaker from Walmart. It lets out just the right amount and I can put some down the middle and kind of keep it central to the middle this way. It's a lot harder, in my opinion, to use a spoon for this. I also always put more than I want because come cutting time tomorrow, all of these are not going to stick, but I still want there to be a lot of them tomorrow. And now using this popsicle stick, I'm just going to tap, tap, tap on these berries. It's pretty easy to do it with juniper berries. They're kind of big. Just to make sure that it's really sticking to the top of that soap and that they're not all just going to like fall off tomorrow. That would be so sad. You have to do this kind of quick after putting them on or else it'll leave kind of weird indentations on the top of the soap. Like you're trying really hard to push something in, but the soap is too hard to accept it. All right, last little bit here. And then I am going to spritz the top with rubbing alcohol. We obviously don't have any glitter on this. And this is what the top of our soap looks like. Isn't that nice? Ugh, it's so like subtle yet effective. I can't wait to see the inside tomorrow. We'll come back and we'll split this slab into loaves after this quick commercial break. The next day, and these layers are looking so good. Some of them do look kind of similar, but the ombre is very, very apparent, which is exactly what I wanted. And it kind of went blue-green because of the Snake Island, which was also something that I wanted. So I feel like I really was winning with this bar. Let's take one of these middle pieces out. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So future batches may change a few things. I really like the differences between the bottom and the top. I feel like that looks good. Also, look at that crazy green color on top of these bars, as opposed to what it looks like on the inside. That fragrance oil was really doing something weird. I actually really like this layer too, but these two layers are too similar. And this one right here needs to be significantly darker. I feel like this one is the problem and this guy is fine. We can leave him as is. The fragrance the next day has positively bloomed. I'm loving the top. This is definitely a new favorite. And I mean, come on, you gotta love the inspiration for it. Like, what can we say? We need a little stamp that's in like all lowercase in a typewriter font that's like, where you been, Loca? Have you seen Twilight? That's the question of the day. You know I had to. I had to. I mean, given the soap, you gotta let me know. And if you have, whose side are you on? Team Edward, Team Jacob? Caroline and I are definitely Team Jacob. Like, we love him. He's incredible. Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks again to FrameBridge for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to get our Forks, Washington Pinewood, it is Washington, right? And not Oregon. I'm pretty sure it's Washington, but man, what a fake fan. I know you can go see Bella's house, which may or may not be on my bucket list. If you want to get this Forks, Washington Twilight inspired soap, it'll be available on October 1st with the rest of our autumn favorites collection. So it seems like the word favorites is really kind of doing double duty here, because it's favorites for me for autumnal things, i.e. watching Twilight in autumn, a favorite thing of mine. But it's also favorites for like smells and concepts, you know, pumpkin pecan waffles, Bath and Body Works stuff. It's just favorites of everything. What can we say? It's just perfect. But you can get anything in that collection on that first Saturday. Be sure you do something fun for yourself. If you haven't watched the Twilight movies, I recommend them with not a full recommendation, but like with a few stipulations. Obviously, they're rated PG-13, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, I wouldn't say they aged well, but there's entertainment and coziness to be found in them. Don't take them too seriously. Feel lighthearted. Watch them the same way you would watch a Hallmark movie. And I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, have an absolutely royal autumnal day, and bye for now.